Hmm. Hey there. How you doing?
I have a new computer, so I hope
Congratulations.
I can manage everything. We'll see. We'll find out.
I saw that NBC coverage of the charging station event you went to.
Yes, it
It was
got
good. It was
I've
interesting.
gotten some emails about it and there was a press release. It's like a big deal.
Yeah, it's good.
Are you running this meeting, Commissioner?
Yeah, I'm the chair of the ABC PS committee, and the only thing on the agenda is our weekly report or our monthly report from Captain Porter of the Third District MPD. And I don't know if the other two committees have agendas or anything. I haven't seen it. So that may be the whole thing tonight. Hey,
Howard or Commissioner Kelly, no PZT agenda tonight,
okay.
to answer your question. I wasn't a panelist yet, but I was right at the answer.
Okay. Here we have Captain Porter on hand. And since it's 7:02 p.m., I will call this meeting of the ANC 1C Alcoholic Beverage, Cannabis, and Public Safety Committee to order. We have a quorum present, and a couple of our other commissioners are here as well, which is always a great thing. And the only, as far as I know, the only thing we have on the agenda for any of our three subcommittees tonight is Captain Porter's report. But let me just briefly mention, yesterday they sent around a placard for the Blackguard, which is in 1C01, just to announce that they are requesting a streeter endorsement with 16 seats. And the hearing will be held on April 27th, so we can notice this at a later meeting. And I've mentioned in previous meetings that the Blackguard is attempting to continue their current streetery. I'm not sure what the status of her diner across the street is, but ideally we could wind up with Southern Adams Morgan being the streetery district for Adams Morgan at the rate we're going. So with that, I will turn it over to Captain Porter if he's ready to bring us up to speed on things. Thank you, sir.
Hey, yep, good afternoon, everybody. Captain Porter here. I was just going over um the stats here just in 1C, which is essentially PSA 303 over the past month. And we're actually looking pretty good. The four cases of violent crime that happened in ANC 1C over the past month, all four of those are either closed with an arrest or we know who did it.
Good.
So and also, we reported no burglaries in the past month in all of the area, which is definitely good. We still have, I'll go over those violent crimes in a second, but just some other things like, we still have a few theft from vehicles, and then our thefts from the CVS, the Safeway, are still driving some of those theft numbers. But our crime suppression team has been well, our business beat team really has been doing a good job of communicating with these businesses. The commander actually made a list of the five most um, prevalent theft locations in the third district.
Hmm.
One of them was actually the CVS that was closed permanently.
Hmm.
CVS, right? Or was that? Yeah, CVS, the one at Connecticut Avenue.
Oh, that's the Walgreens.
The Walgreens, sorry,
The
the
big
Walgreens that was closed permanently at the corner of Connecticut.
the big Walgreens.
Yeah, so that was driving a lot of the theft numbers,
Yeah.
and now no longer exists.
Yeah.
So we'll see what replaces it. But the other locations, the Safeway and the CVS, are very
On Columbia.
prevalent locations in the third district. So a business beat has been working with them. And as we get a closer relationship with them, we get better at getting camera footage quicker, identifying suspects quicker, identifying patterns. And so that's a constant thing we're working on. So the 4 violent crimes that happened in ANC 1C, one of them was a ADW knife, assault with a dangerous weapon at the Popeyes. Essentially, it was a customer that didn't want to leave at closing, got angry with the staff, was waving around a knife, and cut. Staff ended up getting a minor cut on their hand. We found her, arrested her. So that was closed. And then 2 other ones, the 2 robberies were actually at marijuana businesses on the 18th of January and the 30th of January. It's the same suspect. He signed in. We don't catch the smart ones. Let's just start with that. He signed in with his medical marijuana card, and then he proceeded to snatch a bunch of marijuana jars after they let him in, and he was asking questions in a while. I think the first one, I know he pretended he had a gun. The second one, I think he just grabbed a bunch of stuff and left. We know who he is. It's the same guy. If we haven't written a warrant for him, they're in the process of writing a warrant for him, most likely for both those cases. So that'll be closed. The last one is kind of on the corner of 1C, which is like Argonne and Mount Pleasant, kind of right by 16th Street in that weird intersection. That was just a random road rage incident where 2 guys got into it. They got out of their cars. They basically assaulted each other. One guy hit the other one with some type of object, and they both got arrested. So that was kind of a road rage thing. It could happen literally anywhere. It doesn't really reflect anything on the community or anything. The other thing is that occurred, the only one of, so that's the violent crime the past month. And like I said, all 4 of those are going to be closed or already closed with the rest. So that's a good thing. And kind of what the downturn in crime, what that translates to is giving us and detectives more time to work on these cases and be able to close them quicker, which helps drive down crime even more. So it's definitely a little bit of reflection of the downturn in crime overall that gives our detectives more time to work on these. Although, like in the case of those robberies of the marijuana place, it doesn't take much detecting to figure out who did it, but nonetheless, you still got to write the warrant, you still got to follow up the video, you still got to do a bunch of steps, even if we know who did it, and then we got to find them. Whether it's going to their house or stopping them on the street somewhere. But I'm trying to find an email because I know the other big concern in ANC 1C is the drug dealing on Columbia Road. I think this was public. But 700 block of Columbia yesterday, our narcotics enforcement unit, which is a citywide drug team, they arrested 2 folks for distribution of crack cocaine right in front of the Safeway yesterday. Maybe 2 days ago. No, that was yesterday. One for distribution of heroin and one for distribution of crack cocaine. So looks like they recovered.
Can I ask a question about
Yeah,
that? Was
sure.
that the same incident with the knifing?
No, no.
Okay, because that was also in the 1700 block of Columbia. So if you could address that as well, that would be great. If you
Yeah,
know anything about that.
you're talking about the one I talked about earlier with the lady at the Popeyes?
Well, I don't know. I just read it. I got an accounting of it, and it just said a business in the 1700 block of Columbia Road. So I didn't know if it was the Safeway or the Popeyes. But
Yeah, it's got to be the Popeyes, the one I
okay,
talked about earlier. Yeah, where the customer didn't want to leave after they were closing, got angry, started waving a kitchen knife, and ended up cutting the
okay,
employee.
all right, that's it. Okay,
Yeah, it must have been that because that's the only violent crime with a knife we had in the business. But yeah, so that was the Popeyes, which obviously is essentially across the street. So
yeah.
still the same area. But yeah, that's what that was about. But yeah, I mean, they recovered a decent amount of drugs on those 2. So part of this process too is once they make those arrests, we request for stay away orders. And that's really up to the judge. But if they get released and they get a court date, we kind of have to wait until they see the judge, whether the judge is going to issue them a stay away order from that area. But that's the process that we can start getting them out of the area. Obviously, as with a lot of things, the argument is, are you just displacing it elsewhere or it's actually ceased? And so, that remains to be seen. But the goal is like these guys, they arrested them for these drugs and distribution. They get prosecuted, they get issued stayaways, and then them simply being in that area is enough for them violating their conditions of release, and then being able to arrest them without having to do any long-term investigation or watch a drug transaction or anything like that. Um, so yeah, that's the only thing I wanted to add to the at the end there, because that just happened yesterday. And that was it looks like a good case on their end. So unless anyone's got questions for me over something that's happened over the past month, or well, whenever, not just the past month, but any issues that are creeping back up. Obviously, it's starting to get warm again. People start to be out more often. And we'll see what happens once the warmer weather comes about.
I assume this recent cold snap has been good in driving down the numbers on street crime, just because it's too cold to be out there attacking
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's part of it. I mean, crime always goes down in the winter.
yeah.
It's just a fact. I mean, every winter it goes down, less people are outside. So,
Nothing. Congratulations on settling those cases, and I think Commissioner Swanson Palmer had her hand up.
yeah.
Did you?
Really just an accident.
Oh,
So sorry.
that's okay. My gotcha. Woke my dog up.
But yeah, I mean, you got questions about anything, it doesn't have to be police related, I guess, but but yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, nothing too crazy happened that we haven't solved, at least in the past month. Um, but yeah, I mean, we'll just have to keep an eye on it. And I know as the summer rolls around, when I was here as an officer in 2014, we had a whole nightlife squad in Adams Morgan. Unfortunately, due to staffing, that's gone away. But I know the commander has it, top of mind. And unfortunately for Adams Morgan, U Street became more of an issue, and so that's where most of the nightlife resources have gone. Clubs like Heaven and Hell that used to be on Adams Morgan and other ones that used to create issues are no longer there, or they've rebranded and they've reformed or whatever the issue is. So I know we were talking about it today, how we're going to keep some visibility in Adams Morgan this summer, whether that's through overtime or additional officers, because our numbers unfortunately keep shrinking. And so, we're trying to do the best we can with the resources we have.
Oh. If there are no additional questions, thank you very much for your participation, and hope to see you again next month.
Yep, thanks. No problem.
Thank you. And unless there's something out there we need to do that I'm not aware of, I think this concludes the meeting. Chairman Wood, am I missing anything?
Not that I know of. So thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, if anybody else has any comments, we'll take them now. Otherwise, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I have a
Commissioner
comment.
Diamond.
Yeah, just that Commissioner Laughlin mentioned something about all of the trash that is now revealing itself because the snow is melting. So I think we'll at our office hours tomorrow figure out some dates for some community cleanups. But I basically feel like this has to be collective community effort because there's just so much trash on the street and we really can't wait for the city to come out and do that. So I've had a couple of inquiries sort of just from people on my block about what to do. And I have said, yeah, do 311, but I think it would be a good idea for us to sort of get ahead of this and schedule some community cleanups. Cause then when people have an inquiry, we could say, well, the city will come around, but you can also join us on this cleanup and give dates.
Great. I think that's an excellent idea. I went around this afternoon in 1C here and put in a couple of 311s for stuff that's like too big to drag to a trash can myself. But yeah, there's definitely stuff out there that needs attention.
Yeah. And a question I have too is a lot of those flexi posts that were like crushed or knocked over by snowplows. And I don't want to just throw them away, but I wonder, like, what we should do with them because they are like in the bike lanes and they're on sidewalks and they're on top of these snow mountains that are eventually going to melt. So that's another sort of street litter problem that I don't really know. I don't know really what to do because I'm sure those things are not cheap and we shouldn't just be tossing them.
I mean, in the past, when we've lost flex posts in my district, I've just taken a picture of the place where it was missing and sent it in as a 311 and asked for a replacement, which usually works, although it takes a while.
Okay. So if I see ones just strewn about, I can just throw them away. I don't need to keep them and put them
I,
somewhere.
I would maybe put them next to where they were before they got ripped out and
Okay.
photograph it. That's that's probably what I would do. Yeah.
Okay.
But if they're wrecked, they're not going to be savable.
Okay. That's no more questions from me.
Okay. Anybody else? Hearing no further comments, I thank everyone for their attendance, and this meeting is hereby adjourned. We'll see you guys next month. Thank you.